Alright guys, my name is lilshef and welcome back to another episode of the Patreon Sim and Dynasty. We are in preseason 2015, ready to get things rolling, recruiting board set up, all that, custom schedules ready to roll. Let's take a look at my red shirts. I actually redshirt quite a bit of people yet again. I mean, my quarterback situation is great for the next couple of years. I'm not really worried about it. Bush will probably get cut eventually because I'm going to find a better quarterback. I went ahead and redshirt him because why not? Same thing with my running backs. I mean, I got a freshman that could probably start next year over the senior. We'll see, but I'm really set up as far as a lot of my positions. I went ahead and redshirt my best fullback just so he can get better, and then I can have him later on. And I don't really have to worry about a whole lot. I got a young team for the most part. I think I have like 9 seniors, and I cut down to under 70. I think I'm 63 on my roster, so I got plenty of room, and I only need like one dude. And that's a defensive end on the season. That's it. I'm not going to redshirt my tight end. Dude's too good to redshirt. I mean, he's an All-American, 83 overall. Can't afford that. I am redshirting the freshman left tackle because we have 2 seniors, and I figure Levis will get a chance to play across the board anyways. I'm not going to redshirt my senior left guard, though, because that's like a 9-point drop. I can't afford that. Same thing with Mays. I mean, that's only a 4-point drop, but I've redshirted him. He's a junior. That puts him as a sophomore next year, and then him as a freshman. I mean, I could, but I want that ability to play good now. As of right now, I went ahead and redshirt my best right guard though. That's because, and then my best right tackle. I don't have a lot of age on my line, which I'm happy about, other than the left tackle slot. So I'm able to redshirt, but I have enough backups to where they can cover as I need fit. My left end 83, and then a junior for next year, then 85, and a junior for next year. So definitely need left ends. And recruiting is great this year. I was going to give you a heads up there. A lot of solid recruits. My defensive tackle position, solid, dude. I don't have to worry about this for a couple of years. Got a freshman, sophomore, then a freshman. This junior is not going to get a play other than a backup to give some guy a break. Linebacker position, pretty good. I mean, I got an 83 senior. Next year I'll have a junior that's about that, if not better. I got a freshman, middle linebacker that's 85. Dude's going to start the next 4 years, no problem. And then a senior linebacker, and then a sophomore, so he'll be a junior next year by the time he gets his first shot, but he'll be okay. Now the corner position, I can't afford to redshirt the top 2 guys. I couldn't redshirt Blaylock last year because he was too good, and I can't redshirt Baker this year. Redshirt Baker this year because he's too good. Like they're both going to start 1 and 2. Nothing I could do about that. But I did go ahead and redshirt the other 2 we have down below, just so I can have like the senior, junior, sophomore, and then junior, sophomore. Like I'm good on corners for a little bit unless I find somebody to improve and take their place, and I'll definitely do that. Free safety position, same thing. Got the starter this year, got the starter next year, got the starter the year after that. No problem there. Strong safety, I got the starter this year and next year, and then this will be a freshman, so he'll start his sophomore year. Like he'll be just fine whenever he gets on the field. So red shirt is looking really good for us this season. Now as far as custom schedules, there was only a few requests, and then I tried to make the schedules as generous as possible with as being as easy as possible for a lot of these guys that are getting kind of close. I tried to give as many rivalry games as I could. So Army got Rutgers, Air Force, and then Notre Dame, and then Navy, obviously. But those are his rivals. I looked them up online just to make sure I was getting everybody that they could, even though they're not always 100% accurate on there because this game's super old. But I tried to make them pretty good, try to give everybody about the same amount of home games, and then try to put as many home games as I could towards the end of the season for recruiting purposes, even though that kind of hurts me. But I mean, I give myself Maryland. That seems like a good matchup for the way we've been playing. I think it'll be all right. Same thing with Syracuse. Some bigger conference teams that I think we can knock off than UMass just for my area. I tried to schedule people and what I would think would be a legitimate matchup based off of areas. Like I'm not going to play Cal. Like that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Charlotte, I gave him 1 FCS school, and then a couple of other ones. I gave him 1 guy from my conference in Appalachian State, and then UMass. I think he could take him out. Should be a good little season for him. UConn requested all FCS teams. He's real worried about his team this year, so I'm trying to complete that objective as much as possible. So I gave him a couple FCS teams to hopefully ease the blow on his side and maybe make it. ECU, I gave him his rivals, which just happened to be week 1 and then week 5. They weren't scheduled, but that was the only week I could get Marshall to play. Come on, man, just let me pick all the teams, and then y'all can adjust the schedule as needed. Then I gave him UAB towards the end of the year just for another little home game to potentially get some recruits on. Rice, his was all right. He doesn't need a whole lot of work. He wanted his rivals, of course. And then I gave him Kansas. And then he wanted his bye week early in the season, so I did the best I could. And then UMass at the end of the year, just to give him another game there, another home game for recruits. But Rice is looking pretty daggum good. And then Wyoming, gave him Kansas, Eastern Michigan, and then Troy, just because, like I said, that seems about the right area. I mean, Kansas isn't too far from Wyoming. It's a reasonable drive, reasonable distance. And to me, especially if you got to play Nevada. I mean, come on, Colorado State, come on. You're already going a long ways. I think that's a decent game. And then Western Michigan, and give the whole Broncos Cowboys game going. I think that could be an interesting little matchup there. But we are ready to roll, man. Week 1 coming up right after this. We're ready to get the season started. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're into week 1. See who everybody plays. I have a bye week. Wyoming's got a bye week. Army and Akron. UConn and Charlotte have a bye week. East Carolina and Marshall. And then Rice has a bye week. And then taking a look at week 1, job security, Connecticut and ECU are the only two that are iffy currently. But I figure by the end of the season, they'll be doing all right. The preseason polls, Florida State number 1, Clemson, Stanford, Washington, Georgia, Texas, LSU, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Auburn are your top 10. Rice coming in at the first user at 42. Myself coming in at 62. UConn at 74. Wyoming at 80. Army at 95. Charlotte at 99. ECU at 103. The conference outlook, we're projected to win the East and going against Western Michigan in the West side. Projected to dominate the MAC yet again. Mountain West, Boise State's projected to win it. Wyoming getting 5th. In that division, San Diego State on the other side. In total, Wyoming's predicted to get 7th overall. Just for giggles, in the Pac-12, the North, Stanford is projected to win it with UCLA winning the South. SEC, Georgia projected to win the East, and LSU in the West. Sun Belt, Arkansas State's projected to win that one. ACC, Florida State with Virginia Tech taking the Coastal. American, USF projected to win that one with UConn in 3rd and ECU in 4th. And then on the West side, Houston's projected to win it. And the 2 users are projected 8 and 9 overall. Big 12, Texas. That'd be the one team I'd go to, man. It'd be kind of iffy for some others, depends on the offers, but Texas is the one I'm shooting for. But they're doing too good right now. The Big 10, Penn State on the east side and Wisconsin on the west side. Conference USA, Mid Tennessee State with Charlotte coming in on 6th. In the West, Rice, of course, is looking to continue that dominance with Rice winning the conference and Charlotte coming in at number 9. And then Independence, Army projected 3rd. I bet they do better than BYU. Probably not better than Notre Dame, but hey, you never know. And then peeking at the Heisman watch, Weber from Ohio State, Gaskin from Washington, Franklin the 3rd from Auburn, McMillan from Virginia Tech, and then Francois, DeAndre Francis. I'm going to call him Francis. It's easier. I know it's the real guy, so I don't remember how to say his name. Quarterback for Florida State. And then preseason All-Americans, my quarterback, bam! First team All-American, that's what I'm talking about. Rice's wide receiver. Not any of my wide receivers. Rice's wide receiver makes first team All-American. Any other users? Army's right outside linebacker. There you go. Army got a pretty good looking defense apparently. Second team. Rice's quarterback. No surprise there. He threw for a ton of yards. It's going to be a battle of mine and his quarterback this year. I would assume for dominance. For best quarterback of the year. And then I don't think any other users. No. All right, checking out the All-Americans, seeing if we can see any users. I think is ECU, UConn, and I think that's the 2 over here. But I don't see any user teams that ring any bells. So if I do skip you, I am sorry. It's kind of going through it pretty quick. Rice is quarterback, no real surprise there. Weiss is wide receiver. That's a Rice's wide receiver. I was like looking at it. I'm not talking about Ruby, the show from Rooster Teeth. Different Weiss. Right tackle from Rice. And then his corner, his strong safety. Rice looking pretty good. And his returner, second team. Charlotte's halfback. There you go, Charlotte. All right, I see you up there. He's got somebody. Hey, All-Americans look good for recruits. Defensive tackle for Rice. And then strong safety. All independents. Look at Army. Quarterback, halfback. Bam, bam. I'm interested to see how they do, man. Asbury was up for the awards for, I think he was up for the Heisman at one point in the season before he got hurt. Moss the right end, Brinson the right outside linebacker, and then the punter, second team, is fullback, wide receiver, tight end, left tackle, corner, all MAC baby. My quarterback, wide receiver, left tackle. Man, this is looking good for me recruit wise. I'm loving it. And then second team, we have our tight end Williams, sophomore. He was a freshman last year, a true freshman. This year, sophomore. If I could redshirt him, I probably would. But I need him too much. He's too valuable on my team. Can't afford to redshirt him. All Mountain West first team. Come on, Wyoming. There's Wyoming. Bam, left tackle. Right guard. His offensive line looking pretty good. I think if his halfbacks hadn't been hurt last year, they'd probably be up there as well. His returner, Thompson, the corner, looking all right. Anybody else? Second team, left end. And then right outside linebacker, and that's it. So week 1 done. Most everybody's got bye weeks. Not going to show recruiting because this is pretty much a wash. I say that every year. Preseason and then week 1. You don't know who's going after who until week 2. So I've already cut my board some based off of what I could. The thing is, you could look online and see the other users that have offered scholarships and stuff. So if people have, and they get a bigger bonus than me, I'm probably not going to go after them. I mean, I'll double check. I'm definitely not going to put points on them. A lot of the guys I am going after, I'm dominant on, and this is a great recruiting class. We'll talk about that more here in just a minute. All right, just gonna do with week 1. Army ends up beating Akron at 35-14. No real surprise there. Army's been a pretty good team every year, and they dominated in the 4th, scoring 21 unanswered. Taking a look at the team stats, they had 31 first downs, 480 yards of total offense, 62 rushes for 399 yards, and 3 touchdowns. My goodness. 9 for 21 passing for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not great, but hey, got 2 touchdowns out of the 9 completions. That's pretty good average. Third down, 5 for 11. All right. Fourth down, 0 for 2. Not good. And then the game could have been a lot worse had he scored every time in the red zone, going 4 for 7. He had the 1 turnover, which was one of his incomplete passes, but he had a really good day and a really good game. ECU ends up dropping their first game of the year, which was a rivalry game. 48-28. I mean, Marshall scored 28 in the second quarter, and that's what ECU had the whole game. I mean, it was10 back and forth. It was 10 to nothing, and then ECU scored, and then Marshall scored, then ECU scored, then Marshall scored 21 unanswered to end the quarter and in the half. I mean, a pick 6 right there towards the end as well. So just unfortunate that ECU couldn't jump out on top. Taking a look at the team stats: 14 first downs, 331 yards of total offense, 21 rushes for 73 yards, 19 for 31. For 258, 4 touchdowns. Just not a good day, good production day overall. I mean, Marshall ran the ball really well and threw the ball really well, and were able to convert a lot on third downs, whereas ECU was only 3 for 10. They were 100% in the red zone though, so that's a positive. With the 2 turnovers, one of them being a pick 6, which added some points to it. I mean, limited the turnovers, and then they need to start converting better. Being able to convert on third down would probably have turned this game around. And then after the first game, Army's got 2 injuries already. 78 overall sophomore right end out with turf toe for at least 2 weeks. It'll probably be closer to 4 more than likely. And then middle linebacker, the senior 77 broken hand out 8 weeks. That's like half the season. He's already hurting defensively. And then ECU ended up not having any. We have Maryland this week. It's going to be a huge game for us. The Big Ten opponent. Hopefully we can come out get the win. Wyoming and Kansas. Army's got a bye week. UConn and FCS East. And then FCS East turns around and immediately plays Charlotte. Man, they got to go a long ways to get that game in the same day. That was a scheduling error on my part. Scheduled them the same team on the same day, but we'll see if they can both beat them. ECU and Navy, and then Rice has a bye week again. He wanted his bye weeks early in the season, so the rest of his schedule pretty much loaded up with games. As far as Maryland, Kirk's picking us to win. There we go. We are a B across the board. They are B+, B+, B-. We haven't played any, so we don't know what they're capable of. We don't know what we're capable of. But Kirk thinks we're good enough for the win, even though Maryland has the overall ranking on us. Now, I did mention that the recruiting was a little sparse. I cut pretty much everybody off my board except for these top 6 guys, and I added more people because everybody else dropped. I mean, I was losing like thousands of points or 500 at a time, and I don't have the points to dedicate to those people, so I cut from like 26 down to 6. Yeah, that's been the highlight of my day. But Ostrander, I've actually never seen the recruit Ostrander. Maybe I've just missed him, but we got a huge lead. Our Rice isn't pushing hard, already dropped 1,000. We're gonna get this dude. Nobody else has an advantage over us. We should get him no problem. 80 overall, definitely taking 80 overall wide receiver freshman coming in. And then all the other guys on the top we're pulling away from. There's a couple of iffies, but the only reason why they gained is because I only had 600 points on them. But we definitely have the advantage over a lot of these guys, and we're definitely pushing hardcore to get them. Same thing with this athlete. We're just doing whatever we can. I found this 77 overall wide receiver. Interested to see what he could do if I can add him to my board. He's a +5, 92 speed, 91 acceleration. His route running is 82 releases, 72. Pretty decent. but I'm hoping we can do it. Plus he's got 97 jump into dude 6'3". So go up there and get the ball. Then the 80 overall halfback I also found. That dude would be a beast, man. If he was a little bit faster, got 81 break tackle, 77 trucking, 80 elusiveness, 81 spin move, 79 juke, 79 carry. Are you kidding me? Holy crap, dude. Would love to get this guy, but we'll find out next week if we can. The computer doesn't really show Tennessee probably going to push hard. If they are, we'll cut them off because they got the bonus by more than double. And then the corner, I just put him on my board as well. Now these other guys, I just loaded up because it doesn't look like really anybody's pushing too hard. They're just on the board for a lot of people, and then we'll go from there. But I did get this tight end right off the bat. Insta commit. Yeah, buddy. Like, I didn't even scout the dude. I scouted him this week just because I wanted to know what he was. He was a 74. Jumped up 4 to a 78. He insta committed. We already got our tight end. All we need is a defensive end this year anyways. So we are definitely looking really good recruiting wise. But we are super excited to get this season rolling, man. I know I am, the other guys are. It's going to be a make or break season for a lot of people. I'm interested to see how we do since we're still a younger team. But if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, man, thumbs up, and let me know that you like it, and I'll keep doing it. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notifications, that way you know whenever these videos go live. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time.